One guards the galaxy and married to Schwarzenegger. The other is my favorite Canadian from my childhood. Can today's contestants connect Chris Pratt to Jim Carrey? I'll find out the same time as you do. Let's play 5 to 9. Welcome to 5 to 9, the movie game for movie fans. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg, and we're coming to you from Asbury Park's biggest movie theater, the Showroom Cinema. Do you love movies? Do you love getting lost in the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database? Do you love talking through, who was that guy? Who was in that thing? What's his face? Then this is your show, and this game is for you. Our first guest on the show today says that her guilty pleasure movie is not another teen movie. Welcome, Meagg Moon. Meagg Moon, tell me, why is Not Another Teen Movie your guilty pleasure movie?
Shameful. Because it's shameful. No, I have seen it so many times. I just love it. And when you tell people, I once told somebody on a date actually that I loved Not Another Teen Movie.
Did he leave you right then?
He pretty much, yeah. He was just like, well, this is never gonna work.
So I've got a fun story about that movie, which is when that movie was in theaters, I spent one evening hanging out with Sam Levine, who is the white kid in the movie who thinks he's Asian, who is the only one from Freaks and Geeks that is not a major star now. And we were going to see the movie I Am Sam with Sean Penn, and we walked past the box office, and every showing of Not Another Teen Movie is sold out. And he goes, yes. And I said, why are we excited? And he told me if the movie hit a certain number of dollars in its opening weekend, everybody on the cast gets a bonus.
Did he get the bonus?
I do not know. It was the only time I got to hang out with him. It was an amazing night. He's a really great guy. And if he's listening, hey, Sam, hang out with me again sometime. It's been 20 years.
Or you can hang out with me.
Yeah, he can hang out with you, even better. So, Megan, you run Over the Moon Art Studios here in Asbury Park. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I sure do. So Over the Moon Art Studios, it's a collective here in Asbury Park, but we're not just an art studio. So I rent space to artists, but we also host workshops for kids and adults. And then we're kind of evolving into like an arts center now where we're like an event space also. So I have bands playing there like most weekends now. We have really cool just like parties and events. We have art openings, pretty much anything you can think of. I just kind of like to invite people to come and use the space for whatever creative endeavors they're looking to pursue.
Yeah, I've had a lot of good times there. I'm glad we got a chance to meet there. So you told me before the show that in a past life you used to do makeup for B horror movies. What was that like?
So I was a special effects makeup artist for a few B horror movies. I didn't do a ton. And it was awesome. They're the most fun sets to be on. I shot a few here in Trenton. There's this really cool director. His name's Tony Goggles. I shot a few films with him, and I love like the independent horror movies. The sets are really, really, really fun. And you just get to do all kinds of silly stuff. And then I actually went on to teach like special effects makeup classes, and people would come and like hang out for a couple hours as a workshop. And I might resurrect them. I teach them usually in the fall Halloween time. But yeah, I had a blast.
That is so cool. So our next guest is my friend, Evan Yudell. Evan, you told me before the show that you are so angry that you paid good money, U.S. American dollars, to see Avatar 2. Why are you so mad about this?
Oh my God, it's just so bad. It's like I get why people want to see it for the special effects, but it's there already. There was nothing exciting or special about the effects. When the first one came out, there really wasn't anything like it. But now it's kind of like, we get it, you know?
Sure.
It's already out there.
Are you excited for 3 more every other year?
No, and I'm not going to see any of them, and I'm going to be just fine. It's just, and I'm like, my daughter really wanted to see it, so I took her to see it. And I mean, I think the movie would have been better if it had been like 30 minutes long and they just condensed everything. But literally, Avatar 2 was Avatar 1 replayed.
Sure.
It was horrendous.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Somebody ought to teach that guy how to make a movie.
Well, I mean, you can't win them all. I mean, even the greatest. I mean, even some of the greatest people slip up, and I think he spent too much time, too much money. But I guess ball don't lie. I mean, if it's doing well, which apparently it is financially, it's...
Well, I heard in an interview James Cameron explain that really what he wants to do with the rest of his life is deep sea exploration. And that if making these movies is how he can get the money to do that, then that's what he will do. So he's literally making these movies so that he can do his passion, which is all this deep sea stuff. So all the water, we're going to see a lot more water in the next 3 movies because he doesn't care about movie making. He cares about that. And, he's just bilking us at the box office so that he can keep getting the money. Just putting it out there, James Cameron. I see you. Also, Evan, you are an avid movie fan like I am. And at some point you saw in the flesh Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. So my bachelor party was in New York City, just, out of the sheer convenience of everyone. I mean, it's, the Vegas thing was kind of overdone and overplayed even by us. So we were walking down the street and I saw, what looked just like him, only...
Oh. So it might not have actually been him.
Well, it was him. It was 100% him because everyone else kind of said the same thing, like, is that Philip Seymour Hoffman? I mean, he was talking to someone, so it's not like we're going to do a selfie. I mean, he didn't look good. I mean, clearly it was not too long before.
Oh, okay.
But
that's tragic then.
But
this got dark fast.
Yeah, well, that's
keep it light. Keep it light.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we kind of all just realized, kind of did a double take as we walked by him.
Sure. So, guys, before we play 5 to 9, we're going to do a little warm-up round. Before the show, we asked you to put 5 actors, write their names down in slips of paper, and I've got them here in a hat. I'm going to pull one out of the hat. I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds to name as many of their movies as possible. Just a warm-up. This is not the official game, but any movie they appeared in counts. Are you guys ready for this?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes. Yeah. Be as honest as possible.
Absolutely not.
Fantastic. That is the best situation to be in. Jason, I sent you the script before the show, but we don't have 60 seconds as a graphic, do we? We can have 60 seconds as a graphic after. For those of you guys listening in podcast land, maybe there's a graphic of 60 seconds. Maybe there's not. But I've got, that's 60 minutes. That's not going to do it. I've got 60 seconds.
Oh, I've got a timer here, Eric.
Ready to go. Oh, you've got it.
Oh, let me produce a little bit, man.
Oh, yeah, produce a little bit. So guys, I want to hear as many movies as you can list with Angelina Jolie. You have 1 minute. Are you ready? Go.
Tomb Raider.
That's
Hackers.
1. That's 2.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
3.
Yeah.
Girl Interrupted.
That's 4. Just tapping out, huh? Keep it going. Any movie she was in, younger, older, now.
Was there a sequel to Tomb Raider?
There was.
The Eternals.
The Eternals. We're at 6. This is great podcast content.
Of course. Just dead silence.
Give me anything.
Just start naming random movies.
Yeah, random. Maybe she'll be in.
Maybe she'll be in, or the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
She's not in that one. No, she's not in that one.
Star Wars.
A Clockwork Orange.
No, she's not in these movies.
Avatar 2.
Not at all. These are negative points. They're counting against you now.
Avatar 3. Hasn't come out yet.
No, nothing. We got 5 seconds.
That's a good movie.
Oh, guys,
regardless of
time. Out of time. Jason, can you please give us some Angelina Jolie movies they were missing? How about The Changeling?
That was on my list.
How about Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3?
Oh, that's right. Her voice.
How about Gone in 60 Seconds? How about Pushing Tin?
That's right.
Guys. Jason, what do you got?
Wanted as well was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Wanted, sure.
Maleficent.
And the second one.
Maleficent. My confidence now.
There were 2 of those.
Shut now.
It's okay. You guys got.
I was supposed to hype us up.
You guys got 7 points, I think, in that round. I'll give it to you.
You give it to us.
Basically,
this
is like a podcast on physics, and you invited 2 potheads.
Yeah. Actually, I would have done better if it was a physics podcast.
I probably would have.
So, guys, the real reason that we invited you both here today is to play the movie game 5 to 9, where you'll have to connect 2 actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. I'm going to pull these names from the hat. You guys have game pads right next to you, so grab your clipboards, open up your game pads, grab a working pen.
I have an IMDb.
Oh, you have an IMDb.
I just wanted to throw that
Fantastic. I love it. You mean
out there. It's under Megan and Pellizzari.
There we go. All right. So, folks.
I do not have an IMDb.
Are we ready? We are live. And let's see. The first name we're going to go. We are going from Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, famous for, he's done a lot of voice work, and then he became kind of the action hero du jour for a moment. And then everybody kind of ganged up on him on account of, I don't know, reasons. And we are going
Boredom.
from Chris Pratt to Jim Carrey. We're going to put that down in our from spot. We got 2 R's in Carrey. Not sure if you guys remember Celebrity Deathmatch from MTV.
I love Celebrity Deathmatch.
They did a Jim Carrey versus Mariah Carey, and then somehow Drew Carey showed up, and it was a melee. But guys, we are also going to draw a third name as a wild card, and if you can go through that wild card, you will earn bonus points. Our third name, our wild card, is so money, and he doesn't even know it. It is Vince Vaughn. So these are our from and our to and our wild card. Finally, we are going to spin the house rule wheel, which in fairness, I did not get ready for today, but I did a lot of thinking about it. So I'm going to spin it in my brain and just shout out one of the options you have. And each time you hit the house rule, you'll get a bonus point. So today's house rule is going to be Jukebox Hero. And a Jukebox Hero in terms of this game is going to be somebody who is famous for being a musician first and then got into acting. So you know how Elvis made 31 movies, but we would consider him a musician first. That'd be like a Jukebox Hero. So anybody you can go through, not an actor who, side note, has an album. We have lots of those folks like Bruce Willis and Jared Leto and Scarlett Johansson, but somebody who was famous for their music and then said, you know what I really want to do? I really want to act. And then, smeared their acting chops all over the screen for us to see. Okay. So let's put Chris Pratt in the from spot. And guys, you're going to just start talking stuff out. Megan, Evan, you'll be playing together. I'll be here on the sideline to offer help along the way, but not too much. Are you guys ready to play the game?
Yes.
Before we get started, I'm going to apologize in advance to the actors who've spent a career building a body of work whose faces we know, but whose names we may butcher, and to all the hardworking writers, directors, and producers who picked the perfect name for a film that we will likely fumble through. I swear we really do love your work. Megan, you had a question.
Yeah, does it have to be a movie? Could it be a TV show?
No, this is a movie game. 529 is a movie game for movie fans. We are going movies only. Movies only. So from Chris Pratt, where are we going to go? Start working it out. Think it through. If you can get to Vince Vaughn, bonus points, but you got to land on Jim Carrey.
So, Chris Pratt has been in a few...
All the Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's correct. And we could go the Marvel way with Jim
Marvel
Carrey.
Movies. Yeah.
Yes.
We could go the Marvel route.
We could go the Marvel route. Yeah, we could also go like the Jurassic Park route, which somehow gets to Sam Neill. And if Sam Neill somehow connects to Vince Vaughn, which I'm not sure he does. I'm just trying to think with Jim Carrey.
We have to connect to
Jim Carrey. And I'm trying to think movies Jim Carrey was in that necessarily connected to someone I know of in a movie.
Jim Carrey's in so many movies.
He is. He is a disconcerting amount. So he was with Val Kilmer in the Batman.
He was.
Batman.
Yeah.
So was Val Kilmer... So maybe, because Val Kilmer obviously was with a few people, but the most notable person that pops in my mind, just because I have the memory of a goldfish, is Tom Cruise.
Val Kilmer.
So if we can somehow tie Tom Cruise.
In, of course.
Top Gun.
In Top Gun, right? Right?
Yes.
The Iceman.
So we can kind of work our way backwards.
We can
right?
do that.
But
okay, so.
Talk it out.
So.
All right. Well, also with the Batman movie, there's a lot of other people in the Batman
there is.
movie too.
So many people. There were so many folks in Batman Forever. There was Val Kilmer, of course, as Batman.
Poison Ivy?
There was Poison Ivy was in a different movie.
Yes.
That was Batman and Robin.
That was Batman.
That was Uma Thurman in Batman and Robin. Both were directed by Joel Schumacher, who replaced Tim Burton. Jeez. But it was a complete reboot because Val Kilmer had the opportunity to go play in The Saint, where he could play so many different roles in one movie that he turned down making Batman and Robin. George Clooney did it and sank a Batman franchise.
Yeah,
it wasn't his fault. It was the nipples. We all know it was the bat nipples.
Well, he became a tequila mogul, so good for him.
George is doing fine.
Yeah. Well, let's see. And Jim Carrey's been with
Okay.
a few. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. No.
Wait, what about the Truman Show? What's
Go for it. Who's in the Truman Show?
I'm trying to remember.
I'm terrible with the names of anyone other than him. Oh, well, what's Ed Harris is his name?
Yep. Yep. He's the director.
Yeah. So, well, wait a minute. So technically, in some form or fashion, you could do Jim Carrey was with Ed Harris, right? And then you go from Ed Harris with Sean Connery, right, in The Rock.
Sure, you can.
Okay. And then Sean Connery was with Sam Neill in Hunt for Red October. And
Sam Neill was in that?
Yeah. Remember,
right.
I would have liked to have seen Montana.
There we go.
And
you know,
then-
thinking back to The Rock, like, was Ed Harris really a villain? Like, he wasn't
No.
even going to do it.
No,
He was
wasn't.
looking out for his guys.
Exactly. He was just trying to be a nice man.
Right? Okay, so you got to the Hunt for Red October somehow.
Yeah, so Sam Neill, and then Sam Neill was with Chris Pratt in the most recent Jurassic Park movie.
Okay, well, let's see if this works.
did we
Let's see.
do
We got
it?
Chris Pratt was in, what was the name of the most recent Jurassic
Dominion?
Park movie?
Wasn't it called Dominion?
Yeah, something like that.
Jurassic World Dominion.
World, not Park. Yeah, I got that on my card too.
Okay.
I'm just going to call it Jurassic World 3, but yeah, Dominion
Was with Sam Neill.
with Sam Neill. All right. And Sam Neill was in,
Hunt for Red October.
I got to be honest, I was surprised, Megan, when you landed on Jim Carrey, you didn't get a chance to talk about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, one of your favorite movies.
I know, sorry.
Did I ruin it?
Like
No,
you owe
it's
me an
okay.
apology almost. So Hunt for October.
Well, Chris
okay, with,
Pratt saw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and enjoyed it. There you go.
he also liked it, maybe. Who knows? So, okay, Hunt for Red October with
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Sometimes you have to slap her. And then
What was he in?
he was in
The Rock.
The Rock
Right?
Oh.
with Ed Harris.
With Ed Harris.
My pen is dead, so
I'm
Megan
writing it.
became my proxy.
I'm the
Yeah.
Maggie Pooh-
the
yeah, yes.
scribe.
Yeah, Ed Harris. Go ahead.
And then Ed Harris was with Jim Carrey in The Truman Show.
Wait, Ed Harris was in the
Who
Truman
was in
Show.
the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Now, this is not a win, folks, because you've just done it in 4 movies. And what's the name of our show?
Oh, 9 to 5.
5 to 9.
Well, that's weird because it's 1 to 5.
5 to 9.
Oh, so you have to.
5 to 9. So guys, we have to figure out how can we spread this out? How can we take these, this is a good thought process. I like it. You're close. Can we maybe go out and come back somehow?
Can we get Vince Vaughn in here somehow? Can we get
Yeah, we can. I'm thinking out loud
Yeah,
as
do
far
it.
as with
Out loud is way better for a podcast.
Sean
Yes.
Connery?
So if are we still sticking with, so Jim Carrey was in the Truman Show. Now the Truman
Yeah,
Show,
yeah.
I'm trying to think who was in the Truman Show.
Well, Ed Harris was in a movie with our perennial wild card, Kevin Bacon. Do you know what movie Ed Harris was in with Kevin Bacon? Because that can get you an extra 2 points. Even if you have to add movies, you're going to get some of those points back.
Is it The Invisible Man?
It is not, though. Kevin Bacon was in that with Elizabeth Shue and Josh Brolin.
But Ed Harris is not.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
The
wait a
Invisible
minute.
Man.
I
It
know
was
what you're
not-
talking about.
It was Hollow Man.
Hollow Man, that's
Apollo
it.
13.
Apollo 13.
Apollo 13.
Yeah, so let's move around. We've got Ed Harris. I'm gonna move him over here. We'll see where we wind up putting some stuff. But yes, let's put Apollo 13 over here because we can get Kevin Bacon in there. And we always love getting Kevin Bacon in here. Whenever I explain this show to somebody, I get halfway through and they say, oh, so it's basically 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm like, yeah, but like the whole universe. The whole universe.
I mean,
Okay, so we're putting
in every
Apollo
multiverse,
13.
even in the multiverse, in every
Apollo
universe, there's
13.
Kevin Bacon.
With Kevin Bacon.
So
now, a name you brought up earlier, and I'm not sure if it's even worth talking about, but Kevin Bacon was in a movie with Tom Cruise, wasn't he?
Kevin Bacon was in. Yes, he was. What is it? That movie with that guy who did that thing at that place.
Exactly. He was in it.
Because I was
Kevin Bacon, Tom Cruise, and a few other guys like that.
Right.
Yeah. What was he with Kevin
A
Bacon?
few other
Few Good
guys
Men.
like A Few Good Men.
Few
That's
Good
right.
Men.
That's right. That's what
That's
we call
right.
the alley-oop here on 5 to
Yes.
9. So we're doing this backwards. A
Okay.
few
Okay.
good men we said, who was it again?
Kevin Bacon,
Right.
and Tom Cruise.
And Tom Cruise. That's right. Now, how are we getting from Tom Cruise to Chris Pratt?
So we're getting to Tom Cruise with Chris Pratt if we're going.
Are we going through Sean Connery?
Yeah, we're going to go through
Are you
Sean
going through
Connery,
Sean Connery?
and do all. I'm sorry, we're going to go through Sean Connery again and all that. So
You can, yeah. Guys, we're going to get all the way to the end after this break.
Hey, it's producer Jason stepping in here real quick to thank you for listening to 5 to 9, a movie game podcast. We're actually really excited to bring this show back for its new season with new and improved audio and video. If you listen to the audio version, make sure you subscribe on your podcast app of choice to make sure you get the newest episodes as soon as they release. And if you want to watch the video as well, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Links to all of these can be found at 5to9game.com. Okay, you followed? You there? You got it? Great. Let's get back to the show.
All right, and we are back, and we are trying to get from Tom Cruise backwards to Chris Pratt. And you had already figured it out earlier, I thought maybe, but that was when you were going to Jim Carrey. So we made a complete circle because Jim Carrey was in Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, who was in Top Gun with Tom Cruise. We found more than one way to get from Jim Carrey to Tom Cruise, neither of which gets us to Chris Pratt. So we do not have this already solved, but the tension is bubbling. How are we going to get from Tom Cruise to Chris Pratt to win this game?
So where we last left off, I think, was Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. Ties to Val Kilmer through
Right,
Top Gun.
Which, as we said, was the wrong direction. That brings us back to Jim Carrey.
Okay.
So we've gone a different way from Jim Carrey to Tom Cruise, successfully.
Yeah.
Very successfully. But how do we get from Tom Cruise to Chris Pratt?
Tom Cruise.
Or from Kevin Bacon to Chris Pratt, because we can throw Tom Cruise right in the garbage since he's no longer helpful in getting us to or from Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise can go in the trash.
that's true.
I'll be honest.
I feel like
I will watch any movie that man is in.
Well,
The Tom Cruise is in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he can run all day, and I'm going to watch it.
So
Really?
I'm going from Tom Cruise to Chris Pratt. I
You
think
can.
I can do that right now.
Okay, go for it.
So Tom Cruise was with David Bautista, I think, in one of the Mission Impossibles. I believe he was.
Was David Bautista in Mission
no,
Impossible?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. I'm confusing it with Daniel Craig and Bautista.
I mean, there have been a lot of Mission Impossibles, and I'm starting to feel like these missions are in fact possible.
Well, they're possible thanks to Tom Cruise. I mean, they'd
Yeah.
be impossible for everyone
Absolutely.
else. It's all
And-
those Phaetons.
And
It's-
in Mission Impossible 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman, maybe the best in the franchise, Philip Seymour Hoffman was a phenomenal villain, and Tom Cruise was at his runningest.
yes. Oh, wait a minute. I can do that.
Okay.
He was with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
In
Tom Cruise was with in Mission Impossible.
Sure, Mission Impossible 3, I'll give it to you.
Yep. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, also Magnolia.
He
I
was.
Philip
didn't know
Seymour
Magnolia.
Hoffman
Yeah.
and Tom Cruise.
That's right. They did 2 movies together.
So I was going to do a different tie. I was going to do Philip Seymour Hoffman was with Ed Norton in 25th Hour.
That is correct. A Spike Lee joint.
Yes, and then Edward Norton was with David Bautista in Glass Onion.
That is very true. Okay. Oh, we are there.
And then David Bautista was with Chris Pratt in a certain movie
Yeah.
where, basically she just doesn't want to dance with you. She didn't move a muscle.
He's mastered the art of staying so still he can become invisible. What is that movie?
Harbulary batteries. That is not at all what I said. It is.
Can we get a
it is
name?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It
Take
is
your pick.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. And by the time this episode is out, likely 3. Folks, you have done it. You have won 5 to 9. Let's
Look
tally
at us
up some
go.
points. So we have 10 minus the number of movies. Let's just recap what we did. We said Chris Pratt was in any of your Guardians of the Galaxy movies with David Bautista, who was in, I'm missing a little bit over here. I'm missing something over here. David Bautista, who was in Glass Onion,
Philip Seymour
I got from, was in, with, who was in. There we go. I got to move my board around a little bit so the screen looks nice. Moving that, moving this. I'm switching things around, but it's all working.
I probably could have even tied it to the bonus wild card.
And yet,
the
wild card. Yeah, I
well,
could have.
let's see what we can get right now, and then we'll try that out. We were in Glass Onion. All right. Let me recap it. We've got Chris Pratt was in Guardians of the Galaxy with David Bautista, who was in Glass Onion with Ed Norton, who was in 25th Hour with Philip Seymour Hoffman, and also Anna Paquin and Barry Pepper. Philip Seymour Hoffman was in both Mission Impossible 3 and Thank You Magnolia with Tom Cruise, which was a P.T. Anderson film. Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon, perennial bonus points. 2 points for Kevin Bacon. We got Apollo 13 with Ed Harris, who was in The Truman Show with our 2-point Jim Carrey. Folks, this is a win. So let's tally this up, and then let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I want to hear about Evan.
On how we can get to Vince Vaughn.
Well, from the Jim Carrey side.
Yeah.
So from the Jim Carrey side, I thought I had it, but I may have very well lost it because I was tied in with someone else. So.
I kind of went off on a tangent.
Yes,
all right, well, folks,
I apologize.
10 minus 7 movies is 3 points. You get 2 points on Kevin Bacon. That is 5. We also have bonus points for any SNL cast member. Jim Carrey auditioned for SNL, but he never was a cast member. He wound up on In Living Color, though he has hosted SNL a number of times to great aplomb, and all the cast members of every generation loves when he comes on the show because they get to write this most physical comedy for him, and as he's getting older, he does not love doing it because he's got the body of an adult now and not the elastic man that we may remember from as far back as films like Peggy Sue Got Married, when he was in the doo-wop group with Nicolas Cage. But we have anybody else here from SNL? I don't see anybody on the list.
It's funny,
a lot of very
do an
serious
Austin Powers connection.
Oh, how would you do it?
I don't know. It's
was
kicking
Austin
around.
Powers?
Well, Austin Powers.
Was Tom Cruise in it? Oh, that's right.
Tom Cruise is in Austin Powers
In the first Austin Powers movie, he
in the
plays
beginning
he
or the
plays,
second. Is it the third? Spy
The
Who
beginning of the
Shagged Me.
second. Yes.
The beginning of the second. He plays
the movie version.
of Austin Powers.
How could we have done it then?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to kind of work it out right now.
Who are we tying it to?
Well, you'll have to Chris
throw
Pratt
an
to Jim
SNL
Carrey.
cast member in there because we have Dana
Oh,
Carvey.
well, I could
I think you mean Mike Myers, but they
Mike
were both in
Myers,
Wayne's
sorry.
World, so I'll give it to you.
I could tie it to Vince Vaughn, but I can't tie it to Jim Carrey or Chris Pratt. Yeah.
So, guys, did we do our house rule of Jukebox Hero? Was anybody here a singer before they were an actor?
Chris Pratt is in Mouse Rat.
I mean, Kevin Bacon is part of the Bacon Brothers, but we got to agree he was an actor first.
Yeah, well before.
And despite the fact that, fun fact, we cannot count TV specials, but David Bautista spent a very long time abducting Kevin Bacon in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special on Disney+, which if you guys have not watched it, it's a good time.
Yes, it's fun.
It's a good time, and Kevin Bacon gets to perform alongside old 97s for a new Christmas classic.
Yes.
But guys, we are going to put up here our 3 points for the movies, our 2 points for Kevin Bacon, and with 5 points, you are both winners. Maggie Moon, Evan Yudell, thank you so much for taking the time to be on 5 to 9 today.
Eric, I've got some really interesting ties that we can maybe streamline this a bit.
How could we do it? How can we make it faster?
So we can get directly from Jim Carrey to Chris Pratt in 2 steps, a couple different ways.
Oh, yeah?
I got Chris Pratt. It was in the Lego Movie 2 with Will Arnett.
That is correct.
Who was in Horton Hears a Who with Jim Carrey.
And also, I was going to go the Solomon Brothers. I was going to go I Love Prison.
Let's Go to Prison?
Let's Go to
Let's
Prison.
Go to
Let's
Prison.
Go to
Underrated
Prison.
movie, by the way.
Let's Go to Prison.
I
But
love Let's Go to Prison.
my brain was putting together
Jack
I
Shepherd?
Love You, Philip Morris.
Sure.
And Let's Go to Prison. Both buddy prison movies. One with Will Arnett, one with Jim Carrey, neither of which were related.
We could also do Chris Pratt in the Lego Movie with Will Ferrell, who was an Anchorman.
SNL cast member.
Who's in,
SNL?
yes,
Yeah.
SNL cast member.
And in Anchorman 2,
which gives us Anchorman 2 with
Jim Carrey was the Canadian broadcaster.
There's
he
a
was
couple-
sorry about that.
Well, on top of that, you can also say with the Vince Vaughn that he was also with Ben Still.
Vince Vaughn was
Vince Vaughn
also
was-
in that same scene with Jim Carrey.
Exactly. So it's a
in
double whammy.
Anchorman 2.
Yeah. Do you get
Chris-
extra points?
We can get Chris Pratt to Vince Vaughn through Delivery Man.
That is correct. Chris Pratt played Vince Vaughn's buddy. Delivery Man, based on the true story of a fertility doctor who used his own material to produce a lot of kids, but this is a more comedic take on it. So yes, Vince Vaughn was in a movie with Chris Pratt, and Vince Vaughn was not only in the same movie, but in the same cameo-filled scene with Vince Vaughn in Anchorman 2.
That
So you
gets us
guys
directly to Jim
really
Carrey.
pooped the bed on
Well,
that.
I did. I could
You
only
had
get
so
there
many
once.
opportunities.
I could only get there through one person to Vince Vaughn directly
Well,
to
and
Chris
to be
Pratt.
fairness, we had it in 4 moves,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And then you told us we needed 5.
Because the name of the game is 5 to 9. Because if
Yes.
it's fewer than 5,
so
it can be
I
too
don't
easy.
think we should be pooped on for not doing it in 2.
That's
when
fair.
we did it in 4.
I just don't want to
That's
be
very
pooped on
fair.
at all.
Well,
At
I got some more interesting ones here if you'll have me. Chris Pratt gets us through the movie Wanted to James McAvoy.
That is
which
true.
gets us Muppets Most Wanted with Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, who was a singer before an actor.
That's true.
Lady Gaga can then take us through Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Or, hold on, hear me out. She could be in A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy with Chris Pratt.
Well, I'm going to take it a step farther. Lady Gaga gets us Sin City, A Dame to Kill For with Jimmy Gonzalez.
Which, by the way, was not a
Wedding
good movie.
Crashers with Vince
Oh,
Vaughn.
no.
That's right.
Jimmy Gonzalez gets us through 4 Christmases to Vince Vaughn. And then Vince Vaughn can get us back around to Jim Carrey through Anchorman 2.
So of course, and Vince Vaughn starred in 4 Christmases alongside Reese Witherspoon, who absolutely hated his guts because Vince Vaughn riffs and he doesn't stick with the script. He just has fun. Whereas Reese Witherspoon is a very prepared person who likes knowing her lines and preparing in advance. And she absolutely hated every minute of working alongside him, and she'll never do it again. Jason, thank you for all that. That was fantastic.
Also, fun fact, I tried going through Will Smith for the bonus points, but I could not find a way to not use Anchorman 2 twice.
Will Smith was also in that same cameo-laden scene in Anchorman
Well, that's a real
2.
slap in the face.
It is. Megan, Evan, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be on 5 to 9 today, for playing our game. You've each won the official 5 to 9 gamepad, which comes with 50 game cards and is also available now at 5to9game.com. Listeners, please make sure to check out Over the Moon Art Studios in Asbury Park. It is a fun time no matter what is going on there. And if you 5 to 9ers listening out there in the podcast ether were chomping at the bit, yelling out a better solution like Jason was to today's challenge, as we played through it, enter for a chance to come on the show by beating us at our own game. Get your official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com. That's the number 5, TO9game.com. Play today's challenge. Post your game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and tag at 5 to 9 game in your post. High scores, as well as creativity and entertainment value, will all be considered. This has been 5 to 9. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg. Our show is recorded at the Showroom Cinema on Cookman Avenue in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. Our producers are Jason Portizo and Laura Ginsberg. Our theme music is Monday Night on an Otherwise Empty Beach on my album, Fire, streaming on all platforms. Subscribe to 5 to 9 podcast through the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube if you want to look at us too, or literally anywhere else you get podcasts. Follow and play along with us on social media at 5 to 9 game on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can play today's challenge or make up your own and play with or against the global 5 to 9 community. Just don't forget to tag at 5 to 9 game when you do. Thanks for listening, and let's play together again soon.